Hi, everybody, and hello. Welcome to a deja vu edition of FaB.
Part two.
And I want to thank Matthew Street for coming back here again. He's so cool about it. Thank you, Matt.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad I could help out.
Yeah, what happened
What a
was
tragedy. What a tragedy.
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 Some of you know the situation, some don't. Real quick. This doesn't happen that often, thank goodness. But what happened was we did this already. This is a second crack at this. We did the live Past Masters Volume 2 ranking, and I did it a couple of days ago, and it was up for a day or two, and blah blah, and people watched and commented. Thank you for all your comments. And then what happened was I inadvertently, in a stupor, deleted the wrong. I was going to delete another video, and I deleted our FaB. So. At first, it was like, well, who cares? It was like, okay, so if you have one here that doesn't exist, fine, who cares? So you missed one, big deal, right? But then I thought, I wanted to have we did all the other Beatles albums and songs, so it didn't seem right not to have this one here. So I said, let's do it again. So we'll do it again. We already kind of know our choices, and from last, nothing's changed. I don't think. Maybe one or two here or there.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry to those of you who've been through this already. Maybe there's some newcomers here. I don't know, but before we start with this deja vu edition,
yeah, I just want to tell you, I'm wearing. It was funny how we both came out at the same time, having our Mets hats on.
Yeah, we happen to have.
Now, as you all know, I'm from the greater Boston area, and I'm a Red Sox fan by nature, but in the National League, I do have an affinity towards the Mets on some level, and I thought I would pay tribute to Joe and Alan C. Records because they're big Mets fans by wearing my Mets hat.
Right. Okay, I appreciate that.
So a toast to the Mets with Joe. You got yours. Where's yours?
Yay.
Come on.
Toast. Look at that. He's got
well, yours is a little more neon colored than mine, but I've got a Coke bottle green colored glass.
Green
here.
cup. Whoa.
That hit the spot.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks. That's the way we got
that was
green
good.
cup going.
And it's just water, folks. Just water.
And Matt was saying before he had something.
Ooh,
he wanted to share with us before we get underway here.
Yes, well, as you all know, the Harrisons are good friends of mine. George, rest in peace. But Olivia and now Donnie, we talk once a week or so. And as you know, they sent me an exclusive Uber Deluxe box set of the All Gas Must Pass Flaming Turd Edition. Here it is.
Yeah.
But remember I showed it in my video, Joe, but I didn't realize at the bottom of the box, Olivia and Donnie put one more item in there for me, and I forgot to show it. This is the Sir Frankie Crisp Friar Park Whoopee Cushion.
Oh!
Okay, so
yeah, that's exclusive to just the people that get the box.
That's an exclusive for just first 100 people that got the whoopee cushion, special Sir Frankie Crisp edition. All right. Enough of the silliness. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're trying to lighten it up because as I say,
because we're bummed out because our episode was gone.
Yeah,
things happen. I do it all the time.
It happens. I should mention too, I did try everything to try to get it back. There's ways of restoring a lost video. I did some tutorials. I looked up at tutorials. I got help from people, but it was like, no, it's gone. It doesn't exist. Hey, it's maybe somebody out there downloaded it and has it. If they do, just throw this one away.
Now that's a real fan, Joe. If you have somebody out there who's actually copying and downloading your stuff and saving it, that's a fan. Indeed. Hang on to that person.
Indeed. All right. So let's go back to time, a few days, and we're doing Past Masters Volume 2 that came out on CD in 1988, Volume 2, and there it is. It has it from '88, and they eventually put them all together with Volume 1 in that set there, the album set. Vinyl, right?
Yep.
And CD. I have something else, CD, I think. But there are 15 tracks that were on this. But the thing is, what we wanted to do was knock 3 tracks off, and those tracks are we're not gonna rank. Across the Universe that's on here, and we're not going to rank Get Back, the single version, and we're not going to rank Let It Be, the single version. And the reason we thought of that is because, it was hard. This is very hard ranking to do. These very
Mm,
tough. This particular compilation, but
very.
by eliminating those three songs, which we'd already really done on the Let It Be Fab Gab ranking,
Hmm.
we would be repeating three songs. Now, granted, they're different versions, so to speak, right? Uh, let's just
Right.
talk a little real quick about what we think of those. Like for me, like Across the Universe here is the one from the World Wildlife Fund. Nothing's going to
Mm,
change our world.
yeah.
So album, and it's the fast version. It's got Lizzie Bravo and Gayleen Pease, the fans,
Hmm.
singing on it with the birds
The
flapping
bird
away.
effects. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and I've never liked that one as much as the other ones. With all due respect to Gayleen Pease
Right.
and Lizzie Bravo,
I
I
agree with
like
you.
they're all right, but so I would have put it near the end. If I was going to rank Across the Universe, it would be near the bottom of my list. What do you think, Matt, for that?
Yeah, that's my least favorite of all the versions of Across the Universe. I like the version on the album, the regular album, better. I like the Let It Be Naked version better. I like the anthology version better. So this would be at the bottom of my Across the Universe list, so to speak. So yeah,
Right.
no, this one I don't care for that much.
Yeah, then you have the Get Back single, which is, of course, different from the album. We ranked the album version on Let
Hmm.
It Be, one album where there's John at the end saying, I hope we pass the audition, which is cool. But
Classic, yeah.
yeah, on this one, you have Ringo coming back with the coda and
Hmm.
returning the end of the song.
Yeah,
Well, but
yeah.
that probably would have went somewhere in the middle for me here, I think.
Yeah, they're both appealing versions for me. I like both versions. I like the one with the extra coda. I like the one where John speaks at the end. Yeah, this probably would have been. I think I had it before we changed things up. I think it was around number 8 for me on the list. I think that's where it was.
Hmm. And finally, Let It Be, which is, I love that song to this day. It's one of my favorites. I think it came in for both of us, number one, when we did Let It Be, the album ranking.
Mhm.
The single version here is my lesser preferred one, only because it doesn't have the biting, strong, sharp lead solo guitar that I love on the album version. So,
Right, good point. Yeah, I
yeah.
agree with you. I love the stinging, great guitar on the album version, but I do love the song in general. So I enjoy this version, but it's not my favorite. So I'm with you on that, Joe.
Yeah. And So, I'm trying to move this along. We don't want to be here too long with this. I should say, usually we highlight everybody's choices. I'm not going to do that this time, only because we want to try to make it a little quicker than before than we did the first time. But if some comments, come up that are worth exploring, I'll do that. But we're
Mhm.
going to try to move it along. And yeah, somebody just answered Robert S., who asked why are we doing a take two? Yeah, it got accidentally deleted,
Mm.
so I want to do it. So yeah. We left those three songs off, and here we go. Let's talk a little bit. We both have similar feelings about the presentation and design of this particular package.
You want to go first or what? Because we both
Well,
agree on this.
yeah. Well, we both feel the same
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
You go, Matt. You're the one who I think last time
Yeah,
you brought it up.
I don't like the cover art at all on both these volumes. I can't stand it. Now when I say that, I sound terrible. I love the Beatles drop T logo. I think it's a classic. It's great. I have it on a million T-shirts. But I just think, like, and Joe, you said it so eloquently after the last show. So I want to quote you here. You said how the Beatles were innovators. They did the simple plain cover with the White Album. They were the first to do that. Trendsetters, groundbreakers. And then a few years later, in 1982, they released the Beatles 20 Greatest Hits package, which was basically plain white with a Beatles drop T logo with some other coloring on it. Very plain. So here we are only 6 years later, and we're getting this. I mean, to me, that's a boring, unimaginative cover.
Yeah.
And I hate the title, Past Masters. Why don't they just call it Old Stuff Volume 1, Old Stuff Volume
Yeah.
2?
Right.
It's like stupid, But
Yeah. I don't like the
anyway, that's
title.
just me.
And I agree with you. No, it's not just you; it's me too. And a lot of fans of the Beatles feel that way. It's
Right.
unimaginative. It's boring. Sometimes bootleggers will give you more salivating covers with good photos and stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Even if, go ahead.
well, the thing I wanted to just say is that in the last video that before it got accidentally deleted, there were a couple of comments and people who said, they tried to, catch us on one. They said, well, you're saying this is plain white cover, but the White Album was played and nobody said anything. And the
Right.
Beatles' name was even smaller. And I responded, I said, well, just to cover this because somebody may be thinking the same thing here.
Mm.
That was the brilliance of the White Album because it was stark white at the time. I don't think it had been done. It was pretty original. And it was kind of like you had the Sergeant Pepper psychedelic cover with everybody who's who on there,
Right.
colorful,
Right. Right.
blinding. So what would be more amazing than putting out a stark white bland cover
Nothing. Yeah. Nothing.
just
Yeah.
says the Beatles? That was the genius
Yeah.
of it. And as Matt said, and then we went on in 1982 to have the same type of similar cover of just says the Beatles 20 greatest hits,
20
the Beatles
greatest. Yeah.
with a
Mhm.
white background. I mean, now like this here, this one that I picked up for laughs for $1. Now, if the White Album had looked like that, so somebody drew
Oh,
on
look at
this
that
one
thing. That's a
here.
fan there. Somebody's a real
I
fan,
mean,
huh?
now but the White Album,
Old fan art, huh?
yeah,
Fan art.
no. So anyway, that is it. A lot of people are gonna be
And,
thinking that, but you got to
and,
understand where we're coming from.
and before we get rolling, for the latecomers, Robert S. asked a question about why am I wearing a Mets hat? So you must have missed the beginning. I wear this in tribute to Joe, and I wear this in tribute to Alan C. Records, who are big Mets fans. I kind of like the Mets, but yeah, poor Bill Buckner. Somebody commented the Mets
Yeah,
did break my heart back in 1986 when
yeah.
they beat the pants off the Red Sox. But we've had our World Championship since. So yes, I am still a Red Sox fan. This is for Joe.
And I'm a Red Sox fan too. Whenever they play the Yankees.
Yes, I can't stand the Yankees.
So there you go with that.
All right.
Okay.
All
Now that
right.
we got
Enough of that.
all of that addressed, we're ready to go on, and we're going to rank 12 songs here instead of 15. Okay. And let's start with our bottom song. And as I always say, it's either your least favorite song, if you like them all, which we do, I think, or if you don't like something, it's your worst song. I'm going to start with you, Matthew, for number 12. What do you got bringing up the rear?
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I won't say it again, but yeah, every song on here, all 12 are very charming to me. I like them all in different ways. Number 12, though, is You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. That's my 12. It's a fun song. The Beatles doing some comedy-like material. I like the jazzy moments of the song, the loungy flavor. I like the middle eight where it gets really silly. I like that they had Brian Jones guesting on sax from the Rolling Stones. It's a fun, silly little song. I'd rather have it than not have it, but it's my number 12.
Right. And I think most people would have that number 12. It's a very understandable choice, I didn't have that at number 12, though. Some people already know what I have for number 12. I'm going to repeat it. And I thought of changing it
Yeah,
when we
you
did
did.
this, only because, your views change sometimes quickly. But no, I put Lady Madonna at the bottom of the heap, and I don't hate the song. I enjoy the song. I enjoy all Beatles songs to one degree or another, but Lady Madonna's never been a favorite, and I don't know what it is. It's a part of the how much it's been played so much, and I don't know. I mean, I like what Paul does with it on his voice, and he comes in with that, rollicking piano. I mean, I like it. I mean, but for some reason, it's the one that I would play the least. I think if somebody gave me an option, which songs I'm going to play here, which ones do you want to hear the most or the least? I think Lady Madonna's be the least.
Right.
So I put that at number 12, and I know it's some people agree. I could see the comments there. A couple of people.
You got quite a few Lady Madonnas there. You got a Ballad of John and Yoko.
Yeah.
A couple agreed with me on You Know My Name.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good stuff.
And Lennon said, a quote here, Lennon said the song never went anywhere, Lady Madonna. So, yeah, that's number 12. Now I'll start for number 11. And
11, okay.
Number 11 is where I put You Know My Name, Look Up the Number. A thing that I really enjoy, novelty song, silly song. Beatles recorded it, I think, in '67 and did some a little later,
right?
Too. And I guess that's when Brian Jones was on in '67ish, probably. I have a lot of fun with the anthology version, which is a little longer. It's got some repeats in there, funny stuff in there, and that's if you like it, which I do, enjoy it. It's a little more fun, a little more of good time because it's longer. But I like it too because it's something different. I like that the Beatles did everything. They have silly novelty song here, a fun offbeat crazy song. I
Right.
like when they do like they did the tape loops and experimented with
Mm,
Revolution 9, or they had some country that they would, maybe country-esque Rocky Raccoon, or they would do dance hall stuff, or Fred Astaire with Honey Pie. So they did a little everything. It's good. I'd rather have it than not have it. So,
exactly.
and I
Mhm.
certainly haven't played it to death. So,
No, you don't
uh,
hear it that often.
yeah,
That's
right.
for
And
sure.
I really get a kick out of it once in a while when I'm playing 45s. I say, let me hear you know my name, and take the Let It Be 45 and play it the B side. That's how I like to
Mm.
hear it that way. A lot of times. So yeah, you know my name is number
And
12
and
for
that was the
me.
way it was meant to be heard,
11,
right?
11. I'm
Back in the
sorry.
day, they used to flip the 45. That was the way it was meant to be
Yeah, and
heard.
that
That
was the way it was meant
yeah.
to be. If you
So
want to
that's
be
cool
authentic
that you do
about it.
that. Yeah.
And same thing with UK
Ah,
singles. If you want to say that some of the UK stuff were just singles, not
right.
album tracks. All right. So that's number 11, I should say. And Matt, you're going to give us now your number 11.
My number 11 is The Inner Light. It's the final in a trilogy of heavy Indian based songs from George. And I love all three. I love Within You, Without You. I love, I did this last time. Oh,
I'm reading the comments.
yeah,
Oh, love you
Within You,
too.
Love You Too. Oh my
With it,
God.
the last time I think you forgot Within You Without You.
I think I forgot the other one. Oh boy, I'm
It's live. It's
A
live.
hell of a Beatles fan, aren't I?
Just
Okay. Anyway, folks, I love the trilogy of his Indian-based songs, but this one's probably my least favorite of the three. But I like it. I dig this song. It's really cool. I didn't like it back in the day, back when it first came out, when it was just the flip of the single. But it has really grown on me over the years, and I can see it for what it is. It's just a fabulous, fabulous piece of music. And when Jeff Lynne did it in tribute to George at the concert for George, it just broke my heart. He just did such a wonderful job with it.
great,
So
great job. Yep.
kudos to Jeff Lynne.
Yep.
And yeah, it's a great little song, folks. I do enjoy it, but I had to put it somewhere. So number 11 for me.
Okay. So now let's go on to number 10. And let's see. I have you first for number 10.
Number 10 is me. Okay. I put, I know some people are going to be disappointed with this, but I did put Ballad of Johnny Yoko at my number 10. And believe me, folks, I love this track. To hear John and Paul working together in unison in the studio, collaborating, which could have been one final time, just the two of them working on something together, having fun, sounding happy. I love it. I think it's fabulous. It's a cool song. I love the guitar lick in it. It's kind of has that vibe like you're on a beach somewhere with a holding a mai tai, having a drink with your significant other on your arm, and and that kind of like calypso flavor. Is it calypso? I don't even know if I'm getting it right. I love that
The ending.
vacation kind of vibe at the end of it, where just you feel like you're, I don't know, like you're on a beach somewhere. It's just a cool, fun song. It's great melody. I know people that don't even know what the song is, but when they hear it, they just love the melody of it. They get into it. So number 10, Ballad of John Yoko, a fabulous song though.
Okay. For me, at number 10 is where I put The Inner Light. And
Oh, okay.
again, I like The Inner Light. Didn't like it as a kid much. It was always a throwaway for me as a young person. But I like it now. And again, just like we said with You Know My Name, it's fun to play it as the B side of Lady Madonna. It's on a 45 as intended. I thought it would have fit really nice on the Hey Jude compilation.
Mm.
Maybe, take off.
Yeah,
I saw her standing
no,
there.
you're right. You're absolutely right.
I should have known better. I should have known better. Or Can't Buy Me Love. But I think it's got a beautiful, gorgeous melody. I like the three Indian influence songs. Really, those Within
Mm.
You, Without You, Love You Too, and this. Um, it's got a beautiful melody, and I like the philosophy. I mean, it's nothing really profound, but when you think about it, the irony that when he says, what is it? The less one knows, like the farther you
The
travel.
farther one
Ironically,
travels, the less you know. Or,
you
yeah,
don't
the
seem
less
to
one.
know. We seem to know less.
Yeah,
You never really learn that as much as we think.
yeah.
Or you could say the other opposite of it. You could say, well, no, we actually learn more as we wisen, as we age. But
Older in age. Yeah,
I like the philosophy of it.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I enjoy the song. It's just that I had to put it somewhere number 10 as we're into the top 10, which I
Yeah, yeah,
should have
amazing.
mentioned. All right. So I see we got some number 10, we got Ballad of John and Yoko, a couple of Ballad of John and Yoko's, and the Paperback
Yeah, I got
Writer we
Paperback
have
Writer, and
from Robert S.
it
And
looks like Oliver wasn't too happy where we put the Inner Light because he said
yeah,
it's his number one. Wow.
Oliver has it as number 1. I'm sorry,
And
Oliver.
so
So
far, I'm matching with Sam St. John. He said we're 2 for 2, but I don't know how long that will last, Sam.
okay, Sam, let's go. Keep it going with match game. So now we do the number 9, as we're fond of saying, and I'll
Number
start that
9.
one.
Yep.
Number 9 is where I put Old Brown Shoe. I got two
Mm,
George songs, the two on this album, pretty low, but I like them. Old Brown Shoe, same thing. It's cool as a B side. At
mm.
least we get that on the Hey Jude compilation that I like. That is on there, right? Yeah, sorry to Old
Oh
Brown
yeah,
Shoe, and
on Hey Jude.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah,
the Hey
absolutely.
Jude
Yeah.
album. Um, Now, as I say, it's fun to play as a single. It's funny how these are all together, these B sides, which is what this is, a collection mostly of singles and B sides.
Mm.
And we talked about this last time. I thought that I had heard that George actually plays bass on this. I love the bass on this.
Yeah, yeah. There was a discussion about that. I never. What was the final verdict
Some
on that?
people were saying, yeah, George plays bass, and some people were saying, well, he did, but then Paul like overdubbed it later, and he wound up playing it, and so on. But whatever it is, I like the bass in it. And people in the comments of the video could let us know. The comments here, or if you know for sure, or in the video comments when this is a video. It's a haphazard melody. It's kind of like it's not, kind of like changes here and there, and it's an offbeat kind of melody, but I
Right.
think that's part of what I like about it. Like the guitar solo
Yeah.
in it,
Yeah. It's great.
it's pretty sharp. And still, I put it at 9. Some of the songs I like better.
Hmm. Yep.
Okay, and what about yourself, Matt? What do you have for number 9?
Well, this is where Lady Madonna falls for me at number 9. Sorry, Sam, we've broke precedent here, I think. Yeah, it was the final single before they went to Apple. It's got that old rock and roll style to it, that old rock and roll influence, like kind of like a rocking Elvis or Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis kind of vibe to it. It's one of those loneliness type songs. Maybe it's the faster, rockier version of Eleanor Rigby, talking about, being lonely and sad and getting through that type of thing in life. So I love the song. I love when Paul plays it in concert. I don't want him to overplay it. There was a period there where he was playing it on every tour, but he's kind of backed off it lately. I love the song, Lady Madonna, number 9.
Yeah, it is funny how that happens. It can be too much of a good thing sometimes. There,
Sometimes, yeah.
there were times when Paul first did say, I saw her standing there and Get Back at the Prince's Trust at '86. I was like, yeah, Paul's doing
Oh my goodness, yeah,
you
yeah,
do it. I saw her standing there. It's like, really? And then Let It Be when he did it at Live Aid first at '85.
yeah,
Oh, what a except his mic didn't work, but
yeah. That was awful. I
it did
remember that.
later. He
Yeah,
turned it on. But it's like, oh, this is so now you take so much for granted, he does it so
yeah,
much,
yeah.
some of these songs.
Exactly.
So all right. So let's move along now to number 8 and start with you, Matt, for number 8.
Yeah, we're kind of close so far with back and forth with where we're dropping these, but yeah, Old Brown Shoe is my number 8, so I'm close to you on that
Right.
one. Billy Preston, as you said, plays on this. It's an up-tempo rocker from George, so I love that. I mean, it's the first time in a while that George really was kicking some ass and rocking out again. I mean, he'd been kind of noodling around with some other kind of more mellow music prior to this for a little while, but boy, he came back strong with this one with a great guitar-based rocker. And
Good point.
yeah,
It's rare for George to rock, really.
yeah, to get George to rock like this is cool, and I like when he does it. So I agree with you. It's probably was best as a B-side. I like it on the Hey Jude album. I think it fits well on this album right here. I love this. And yeah, but I gave it a number 8, and I think that's a pretty good showing for it. So Old Brown Shoe, number 8.
Okay. Now, for my number 8, this is one of those points in the list where it's like, "What? Are you sick? You feeling all right, Joe?" This is like a surprise for everyone, much like Lady Madonna's kind of a surprise for many at the end.
Yeah.
But for number 8, and me
Oh, I
being a
think I remember this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
John, being a John Lennon fan, I wound up
yeah,
putting the song "Rain" as
yeah.
number 8, another B-side. And the best thing I could say about it is I think it's so cool. John's so cool, and the backwards bit at the end that was on there is so interesting and different, and just another step, another thing that the Beatles were trying with the help of George Martin. And I respect it for the creativity like that more than actually listening to it. I mean, when I'm in the right mood, I like it even better than I do here. It would be higher maybe than an 8.
Right, right, right.
But compared to what else, when I tried to tackle this list, there are other things I just like better than it, I think. So yeah, that's why I put it at number 8 instead of a little higher. But
Very
like I
good.
say, I like Ringo's drumming. I don't want to forget. How can I forget that?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah, Ringo's drumming is
Ringo loves
sensational.
his drumming on it. He always talks about it.
Yeah, Ringo always says he always named it as his favorite Beatles song because how he played on it. He said he never did it something like that. He didn't think before or since. He says sometimes, and it just happened,
Right,
and it's
right.
special to him. And I agree
Yep.
with that. Still, I put it number 8. So
All right.
now we're gonna go to number 7, which I guess I'll start off, and let's stick with the same single and shock even more people. If you haven't
Oh,
recovered from that heart attack, I got another one for you right now. I don't know. Although number 7 is not bad at a 12 maybe, but I put Paperback Writer at number 7. Um, I told the story last time. I guess I'll repeat it for posterity. We want to have it in the video. The first time I remember hearing it was I was in my car. Well, my car, my parents' car, my mother's
yeah.
car. She was driving one night, and it came on the radio, and I'd never heard it before. And boy, was that excellent! I mean, I never heard it. Those guitars again, Beatles. You could tell it was little later period. They were doing
Hmm.
something different. I hadn't gotten that far along in my Beatles collecting yet. I pretty much anything after, say, maybe Rubber Soul, or, or Help a Rubber Soul was like, a new thing for me. And I loved it then. And I think it's the fact that I've heard it so much. Maybe it's gone a little down compared to how high it could be. But boy, I remember that first experience and how much it really affected me. But these days, I don't know, not as much. I remember thinking the harmonies were so cool at the first time, the Frere Jacques.
Very Jacques, yeah.
I didn't know for years what they were saying. I learned eventually, but I just like that bit. And yeah. So for me, Paperback Writer number 7. And with that, we'll go right into Matthew Street.
Yeah, this is the one where we matched on last time. Now I remember this because I'm at number 7 with Paperback Writer as well. And again, I told a similar story. I was on my way to kindergarten with my mother. She was bringing me down not too far from where I live. And I remember when this song came on, I remember at the time I was like 5 or 5.5 thinking this was heavy rock. I mean, for the time, to hear a song like this, I thought it was heavy rock and roll. This was big time, that big sound to it, and that guitar lick, which is so cool. And
Mhm.
every guitar player who loves the Beatles tries to figure that one out for sure. And I have a Japanese EP somewhere. It has like a red cover, and it's a picture of them on Top of the Pops or something. Maybe some of
Yeah.
you remember this. And I love the sound of Paperback Writer on that EP, that Japanese EP. I don't know what it is, but it just pops out at you. And that's my favorite source to listen to Paperback Writer. It just sounds great.
Yeah, I remember when you mentioned that last time. That inspired
Mm,
me to say, some of the tracks, the Beatles, as we know, some of them on stereo. I'm not wild about the way you get something over here and
right,
over
right, right.
here. You make this thing Paperback Writer here, then you get the guitar over here or something. I like that more of a mono sound with that. If it's more centered.
Right.
Um, but you know, who am I? I mean, what you like, and depending on your mood too.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe the
Yeah.
stereo, the sharp
It could be
stereo is
my
better.
system I had, where the speakers might have been closer or whatever, but boy,
Yeah,
it pops on that Japanese EP.
here you go. So number 7. As I just look around here, I got Sam St. John's got it number 7. Robert
Ah, he matched us.
Paperback Writer. Yeah, we can work it out for Robert S. at number 7. We can work it out for Oliver at number 7. Hey Jude for Diego at number 7. Here you go.
Oh,
This is an
and
interesting comment here.
for Chatham 143 doesn't recognize me. So there you go. Okay, how's that?
I got to get some shades.
I'll leave him on for a little while. How's that?
You know,
I was going with the casual Matt Street look.
there you go. It pops on the mono box set too. Yeah,
Oh, really? I'll have to check that out
yeah.
closer.
All right. So we're moving right along here. Pretty comfortably.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Okay, we're up to number 6, and I'm
Yeah.
going to start with you, Matt, for number 6.
This is where I had Rain last time.
Wow.
A brilliant song. I have nothing bad to say about Rain. It's so innovative, and Ringo's drumming and the guitar work and Paul's bass playing, and it's just a beautiful song. I love every bit of it. I'm trying to think of what else I said about it last time. The backwards vocals and the tape being backwards near the end of the track was so innovative for the time. Rain is just one of their classic songs, one I'll always enjoy. I first heard it on this album, as I'm sure Joe did. This album has so many great tracks on it, folks. Check it out if you get the chance. The Hey Jude album. Number 6, Rain. Great track, classic.
Yeah, good. A good addition to that, like you said, a good addition to some of the loose ends on that wonderful, we both agree, Hey Jude album.
Right, absolutely.
I remember I had that as a single, though. I did go out and buy that as a single as a kid, maybe because I heard it on the radio too. And I think I remember not liking Rain at all. And that's just the way I was at whatever age I was as a child. And I had that kind of red and orangey kind of circular Target label 45 that I had. That's the one that I gotten from my local store.
Oh yeah.
So we're continuing with number 6, and it's hard to put any from here on down. I mean, I didn't know what to do with these songs.
Because, you're absolutely right. They're interchangeable at this point.
Yeah. So what are you going to put in which order? But number 6, I went with "We Can Work It Out" at number 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think this is such a great example of John and Paul being dynamite together, working so perfectly together. How Paul starts singing, kind of optimistically, no, we can get it together, we can work it out. And John, pretty much in his part, in the middle 8 part, he offers where he says, "Life is very short."
Right.
That part is like philosophical, but then he's basically agreeing. There's no time for fussing and fighting. My friend, and everything. I love the two their parts together. A very good joint effort song, and sometimes I get criticized because I don't know the names of the instruments, but whatever they're playing, whether it's a keyboard or
like a harmonium or
harmonium,
Yeah, I might be, yeah.
I love that, touch, which I forgot to mention last time. So there's an advantage to doing it again, but I thought of that afterward. It's a beautiful song, and I had that. It's a 45 I had as a child. I always say there's not much I remember from when the Beatles were actually doing it. Because I was 3 years old, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. But in '66, I had that single, "We Can Work It Out" with Day Tripper on it, with the picture sleeve. And I remember playing that on my little Mickey Mouse.
So was that your first official piece of Beatles vinyl? I know you had the Help album at some point.
Yeah, so the memory. Memory. But whether the memory came before another memory or not,
right.
Precisely, I don't know. I also had the Nowhere Man 45 with that capital picture sleeve. Those two are the two singles that I remember actually physically having, as if I'm still I'm saying 4 because I'm thinking at '66 I had these,
right.
around there.
Yeah.
So so "We Can Work It Out," terrific song, and I put it at number 6. All right. Harmonium. There you go.
Yeah,
Harmonium.
it was a harmonium. Thanks, Stephen.
And I'm not really putting money. We don't have that many people here as we usually do. But I understand that. But that's why it's not too much. Could have put some of these up here, so maybe I'll do that now. Lady Madonna had to go somewhere. Fats Domino tribute. Yeah,
that's a good point, Sam. Fats Domino. I didn't mention him.
Didn't he do a version too, Fats?
Yeah, he might have. But definitely Fats style more so than maybe Jerry Lee or Little Richard.
But Ballad of John and Yoko. Yes, indeed. All right. So now I'm going to start off as we get into the top
number
5.
7.
We're into the big
what
5.
Are we up to now? We're up to 5.
Again, I know what I want. I knew what I wanted to be number 1 in this because I feel it. I just feel it right now in my life. But as far as the other ones, I didn't know what to do with the other 4. So at number 5, I put Day Tripper. to start off the top five. One of the greatest, earliest, rockinest 65 period, songs the Beatles did.
Hmm.
I know the last time we had this, I got a little too heavily into the words. But the thing is, as I think Matt said last time, and I'm sure he'll continue with at some point here, you know, it's mainly for me also and him too, about if you just like the sound of it. You don't go probing, especially as a
Right,
kid. When I was a kid, what are they trying to say? What do they mean?
right,
But
right.
in
Yeah,
preparation for the show, I was just looking up some, just to refresh my memory. And I had one source that said this was like an early LSD song. It's going back that far,
right.
and it's probably more marijuana, you would think, right?
For that period,
For
yeah, I
that
would think
period,
so. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But then I heard, John in his 1980 Playboy interview said, it's like you're a weekend hippie, a day
yeah.
tripper, you know. And I think Paul might have said it was a drug song. I think John said it too at one point. John said it was a drug song in some other interview. So I mean, does it matter? Not in the least. I just for the sake of, I think it's cool because it's also about, I guess, like a girl, something that taking somebody for a ride,
Right, right.
kind of like if you want to get into the lyrics, how like, she was a day tripper and she's a big teaser. Like said,
Hmm.
take you halfway there and then, you
Leave you
know,
hanging. Leave you hanging.
leave you leave you hanging. I like all that stuff
It
too. But
has a
even
lot of interpretations. Yeah,
yeah, even on it simply though, just as it is, whatever it is, we could be singing about the rocks and the trees and the grass. It doesn't matter. It's just a really cool song with a great intro and killer riff. Uh, and you know that's all. I want to leave some for Matt. That's another thing. You don't want to say everything,
no, no. I mean, no. It's going to
but
come up a little bit later for me.
yeah,
There's a lot of meaning with that song for me
yeah.
personally. But yeah, no, I agree with everything you said.
I
You
like
said it.
Ringo's tambourine effort in there.
Yeah,
A little a little
Uh,
flourish in there. I
yeah,
think it's Ringo, and yeah, I love Day Tripper, and I remember that very, very well as a child. That song
yeah.
being one of my very favorites. Didn't know what it was, and I forgot to say this last time. I used to think it was. I don't know why. Like when it started as a kid, you think it was like a newscast. Like I don't know why.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like the news
Like
tonight's
yeah,
news.
yeah, yeah, like the teletape coming in. Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's how, as a child what I thought. So that's my number five. And Matt, why don't you offer us right now your number five?
Well, this is where we can work it out. Falls for me. I always think of this song. My notes from the last show Sunday was could this have been one of the first ever peace and love songs? We can work it out. I mean, when you think about what they're expressing here, it seems like it could have been one of those early clues to the new direction. I don't know, like
Yeah.
that love and peace was coming, and we can work it out. Try to see it my way. It just seems like one of those songs that could have been an early peace and love theme.
Hmm.
I love the verses to it. I love the choruses. It flows so great. I love the segments where it goes to a waltz for a couple of measures and then builds back up again. It's just a brilliant, brilliant track. Top-notch Beatles all around. I love the videos that came out on One Plus. It's just a great,
Hmm.
great track. I have nothing bad to say about We Can Work It Out. One of my favorite tracks of theirs. I never tire of it. I'll be listening to the Beatle channel and it'll come on, and I enjoy it to this day. It is no fatigue factor with it. So number five, We Can Work It Out.
Great. And as you were talking, I was thinking something that was brought up last time that I managed to remember. There's a wonderful demo that you can hear if you
Oh yeah, you
search
did bring this up. Yeah.
YouTube. I remember hearing a Lost Lennon tapes episode from like maybe the late '80s, and an interview with John. He said something like, "I have somewhere a tape of Paul doing We Can Work It Out, like a demo,"
Mm.
and then Ellie Elliotman said, "We found the tape, and here it is." But he played the tape, and it's got Paul a totally different sounding version, faster, fast moving tempo,
Right,
and
right.
it's just him by himself, and it's so cool the way he's singing his part. We can work it out, try to see it my way, that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, when it's getting really good, you hear like a bloop, and all of a sudden, John
It goes to
Lennon
something
used it as
else.
a
Yeah.
blank. He actually recorded over it. He starts doing some funny
Yeah.
character, cartoon character stuff, or something like that. And I remember Elliot Mintz coming back on and saying, "Now you have to understand, John had already heard this. It was just a day's work. It was old news to him,
Yeah, right.
kind of thing at the time." I mean, I get it, but oh man, every time I hear that, I'm like, John, what do you have to do that
They never
for?
realized it would be like an Egyptian treasure decades later.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. And there it is. Hey, this is Marv, Beetle
yeah. Hey,
Vinyl
Marv.
85.
Hey,
Yeah,
Marv.
John recorded over it. Yep, 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 yep.
What a shame.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, and Steven says there's a live version of Day Tripper from the last show in San Francisco 66 where the sound is huge. They finally played in a venue with a good PA
PA
system.
system. Oh, cool.
You
Yeah,
know?
I would
All
agree.
right. So let's move along here. And
All
let's
right.
go to number, oh boy, where are
Four. I
we
think
at?
I'm up to four.
Number 4.
Four.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt. Do
Well,
number 4.
it's one of those songs that I had to give it some due. I wasn't going to put it at number one. It's the Beatles' all-time classic, their best top, single, 9 weeks number one. But I had to give it some respect, so I put Hey Jude at number 4. It's a
Jeez.
classic, like I said, week in week out number one. It's their epic. It's their opus. It's the first Apple single. It just builds and it builds and it gets to that big long whatever you call it, where everyone's singing along and happy and excited, especially when Paul does it live. It's a classic, folks. I am a little bit fatigued with it, I will admit it, but I still gave it the respect it deserves. Number 4, Hey Jude.
Well, I have to recapture the last video, the last time we did this. Matt, I respect you. I respect your opinions, but boy, I gotta say, when somebody puts a great classic like "Hey Jude" at number 4, it makes me just, I turn my head. I can't believe it. I don't mean to embarrass you or anything. I know. I don't mean to shame you. Everybody's got their opinions here, and
I know.
we never know what we're going to pick. And this is the first time we've known what each other's going to pick because we did this already. That's the reason. But so I had to recapture that. I'm feigning disgust because it's feigning.
And I'm feigning embarrassment.
And I also have Hey Jude at number 4.
Yes, I remember that.
It was just a ruse, and I got to tell you, I felt a little guilty putting it. That's how these things are. Look, Hey Jude is one of the greatest songs ever made. It's one of the greatest Beatles songs ever made. I have to say again something I always say. At some point, I feel like I have to say it. It's different between ranking these songs on an objective kind of basis, saying, "Look, never mind what I think about how I feel about them right now. These are supposed to be how we feel right now about it. If you want to kind of objectively, aside from your own feelings, say, well, this is the song. Hey Jude was there. How many weeks? 8 weeks, 6 weeks,
9 weeks, number 1.
9 weeks,
Yeah.
9 weeks.
U.S. anyway.
It's number 1. It has to be number 1. It's one. It's the best. It's the greatest song here. It has to be. And Lady Madonna, which I put dead last, that doesn't deserve to be the last. It's better than a better song than You Know My Name. Look up the number. But we're not ranking on that. That's why I put Hey Jude there. I'm just a little, again, it's played out. Some songs can be. It's funny how that works. It's not always the same. I put Let It Be at number 1. We did the Let It Be album. And it's played to death. Right. But I never tire of that. I tire more of Hey Jude, even though it's wonderful. So, but still made number 4 for us. I mean, it's not number 12, 11, 10.
We gave it the respect it deserves.
Yeah, it's a great song. It's great. And I love the TV performance, David Frost.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah, which I caught on as a child. That's another thing. I mentioned this last time. And one day,
tell that story. That was good. Yeah,
it's a good story. I want to make a video of this too. At some point, the few things I actually remember. And this is my biggest, most special, what I call Beatle memory when they were actually doing it. And I was only like probably 6, where I was sleeping, and they were on TV. And I'm guessing it was the Smothers Brothers show here in the States of the performance, the David Frost audience involvement video,
right?
How we call it. And my mom woke me up. And I had the Hey Jude single. That's the only, besides from those other singles I mentioned with my phonograph, I remember very clearly loving Hey Jude and having the Hey Jude 45 and on the Apple. And she woke me up and said, "The Beatles, come on downstairs." I feel like it was a treat, when your mom tells you you can get up, you can
You
come
can get
down with
up
the
something special. Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, what is this?" So I
Yeah.
go downstairs. Your Beatles, the Beatles of the Beatles, they're on. So I go down there and I'm like horrified. I'm horrified. I loved them doing "Hey Jude." I was getting goosebumps because of the song, but I didn't know who these guys were. It seemed like you got this guy with this granny look with long hair and little granny glasses
Yeah.
on the guitar, and then you got like Ringo's like wearing an ugly mustache and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow,
The
oh man,
colorful, flamboyant
all that
clothing.
colors and the long
Yeah.
hair and psychedelic. I mean, George looked okay. Paul looked like Paul, but overall, I just remember thinking this is not. It was a mixed thing. It was a bittersweet
Mm.
moment, but that's my memory of that, and it still was exciting. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey Jude, number 4, folks. All right, so we got different things here like Day Tripper, like
Rain.
Ringo's drumming on Rain and so forth, and
Robert S. had the inner light. Well, that was at 5.
number
Okay.
5.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hard to rate these songs because of the film familiar. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Stephen. Yeah, it probably should be number 1 if we're doing it based on, you
Based
know,
on what it
crit-
achievement. Yeah.
and critically, what's a stronger song, maybe
Mm-hmm.
on a technical basis, and has the order changed since Sunday? As far as I know, right now, mine hasn't. Has yours?
No, mine might. I might shift 1 or 2 back or forth, but it won't. It's nothing big. Yeah.
Yeah, then we'll do it again tomorrow, and we could change some. You
Yeah,
never know.
that's true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, this is exactly my feeling, Steve, and I do the same. Play the solo albums more than the group albums, not because they're better necessarily, but the solo albums they feel a little fresher and aren't oversaturated. I
Yeah,
agree.
I agree 100%.
I
Yep.
play the solo albums much more than the Beatle albums these days.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're gonna go to number 3, which I'll start off, and
Yeah.
again a John thing where I feel like, oh man, I should have given this more to John, but my top 3 songs are all John songs, but I put this one at number 3. It's "Don't Let Me Down," which I just adore that song. What can you say about it? Billy Preston playing, the keyboards on it, contributing. Love song to Yoko, one of John's best love songs. Love him doing it on the rooftop.
Mm.
Love the version on "Let It Be Naked," but it's still kind of one of the more fresh songs for me. Again, I never get tired of hearing it. I don't know why. I remember one time, I was I had an old style jukebox in a place I went, and that was one of the 45s, and I played "Don't Let Me Down." I didn't play "Get Back." I played "Don't Let Me Down," the B side,
Yep.
and I just love it. I love the way John, like, it gets like at some points it gets kind of soft and everything. Then it gets "Don't Let Me," and it comes
Yeah.
from the heart, from the gut again, like that. Just really love it. But I put it at number 3. It was between 3 remaining John songs for me, and that's just where it wound up this time. That's how I feel, but at the moment. So that's my number 3.
All right.
And we're up to you, Matt, for number 3.
Okay. Well, here's where I did a little bit of a switch, but it's not much of a switch. A song that was 2 is now dropped to 3 for me, and it's "Day Tripper." Love this song. I'm a guitar hook guy, and "Day Tripper," that lick was one of the first guitar licks that ever grabbed me and held on to me for dear life. Was that down? I mean, that's a lick that just screams Guitar Hero. When you hear that, that's like, when you hear the lick for Purple Haze, or you hear the lick for Smoke on the Water, or countless Led Zeppelin or Who songs, or Van Halen, or some by the Stones like Satisfaction. You hear that guitar lick and you immediately know what it is and who it is. And that's what Day Tripper did for me when I was a little kid, like 5 years old, back in the mid 60s. I fell in love with that song. I thought it was the coolest song ever. Yeah, it was that first Guitar Hero song for me. It was catchy, it rocked. John and Paul doing dual lead vocals. It's a classic, and it's number 3, Day Tripper.
Thanks for reminding me of that terrific assessment of the song. However, I remember I wanted to mention I love the way Paul comes in. Got a good reason. He starts singing, and then
Oh yeah, you did
and it's
mention
like
that last
for
time.
taking the easy way out. Got a good.
Yeah.
And then later on, try to please her.
Right.
They
Yeah.
get together.
Good point.
She only played one night stand, that kind of thing. Yeah, love it, love it, love it. Needless to say, but so you had that at
That was my 3. Yeah.
number 3. Okay, now we're going to number 2, which I guess you're going to start off with. I'll have you start it off with.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, I don't
All
know
right.
what I'm
Well,
doing here.
I'm not going to say too much on this one. I'm only going to say that my partner here touched me on Sunday because he said some cool stuff about it, which
Yeah,
I'm not
leave me some of those
Oh,
thoughts.
no, I'm not saying it. That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
I am not going to steal your thunder because I liked what you said about it. But so everyone tune in for what Joe's about to say about this song. This song moved up one notch for me after my partner said his little spiel on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it meant a lot to me what you said. I said, wow,
Oh.
he nailed it. You really captured the feelings that I was feeling, but I didn't express it, or I didn't think to express it on Sunday.
Right, okay.
Basically, my number 2 song is Revolution. I'll just say what I said about it on Sunday. Heavy track, the distorted guitars. I love hard rock, folks. I'm a rock and roll guy. The heavy, it's just one of the heaviest rock and roll tracks they ever did. And then we had a little bit of a debate about, was it Paul screaming in the beginning?
Oh,
was
yeah,
it John?
yeah.
I don't know if we've ever solved that mystery yet, but when I was a little kid, I used to love to put the track on this album here and try to scare the bejesus out of my little brothers by waiting for that screen part to come and then turning the volume up to 11 or whatever number I had at the max. And just when that, and just like freak out my little brothers. I used to have fun doing that. Anyway, I love Revolution. So I just wanted to speak about it as a heavy rock and roll track that's one of my favorites of all time, but it moved from number 3 Sunday to number 2 today because of what Joe's going to say right now, and he says it so well. Joe,
well,
Revolution is my number 2.
Thank you for
we're not at there yet. Okay.
Thank you for the introduction, but I'm not quite ready.
You're not quite ready yet.
At number 2, I have the Ballad of John and Yoko, which is rather high up because a lot of people have it low. I noticed last time, and there's not as many people participating here because a lot of people did this already last time. But Ballad of John and Yoko, I love that. That's one of the songs. Anytime it comes on, I could hear it again. I don't get tired of it. I love first that John's doing an autobiographical song. I like that he's socking it to kind of the critics, and and just throwing his arms up like he's being crucified. Christ, it ain't easy.
Right.
They're trying to crucify. I love that, and the hypocrisy and some of the lyrics about it's good to have the both of you back. First, it's like you can only get married in Gibraltar. Then it's like hey, it's good to have you both back. Oh Christ, that kind of thing, I love the tune. I love the freestyle guitar of it kind of thing. I call it freestyle. Is that the right term? Just he just got his guitar.
Right, it's loose. It's got
loose.
Loose.
And John and Paul together, which of course you mentioned. And look, I also have the fact about this. John and Paul working together. They did the record alone. George and Ringo were not there. This wonderful outtake where I forget. One of the Beatles says, "Hey, George, don't play it faster or something." Okay, Ringo, or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
They kind of mentioned George and Ringo, acknowledged them in the sessions during this, and I love it's like John probably wanted to make a record fast, and Paul. I want to salute Paul McCartney because I think it's such a great thing that this man did to join his friend John in support, because nobody really liked Yoko coming into the studio and when he didn't usually have women there, and here he is joining him. I got your back. I'm going to help you on this song, and they were singing backup and stuff, and joining on the drums, playing drums and bass and stuff, and it's like, yeah, all right. So maybe he wasn't thrilled all the time with what happened here, but he could put that aside and he can sing the Ballad of John and Yoko with his friend and put that all on a shelf. I like that. It sounds like a little too involved maybe to think about, but I don't know. I love that aspect about it. So I really like it. And anytime the Beatles can push the envelope a little bit and can do something like get banned in some places for saying the word Christ and they got to play it backwards.
Controversial, yeah.
It ain't easy in some places. Or just either take the word out altogether or just put it backwards. That's great because I talk about street credibility, street credit, when they either rock real hard like a Helter Skelter or Your Blues or something like that, or when they're saying Christ, or look, even when John did the Naked album cover with Two Virgins, I think it's cool. Now, I'm always the first to say, hey, look, today the world's out of control. We don't need all this kind of vile stuff, like an old fart does. But one little thing here and there, but compared to what's going on, just a little dose here, a little F-bomb here or there in plastic or no bad, not insane,
Right.
let's go out and kill all the people or cops or anything. Um, you know, I like that little edge, and it makes
Right.
it maybe more appealing to younger fans. Think they don't just sit and want to hold your hand. They don't just say, love me do, I love
Love
you.
me do. Right. Right.
You
Right.
know, you know, maybe there's
Well,
other more
there's a lot more to it. Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
Beatles. So,
Yeah.
Ballad of John and Yoko at number 2. Whew.
Two. Yeah.
All right, now let's just
Well,
see.
actually, let me do my one first because your number one has a lot of impact, I think.
Oh, okay, okay.
And
That's
my
fair.
number one's kind of boring, to be honest with you. It just happened. If you don't mind, I figured then you
Go
can
ahead.
do the
Oh,
big.
go right
You
ahead.
can do the big finale. But
You
my
put
number
me on the
one right
spot.
now, it might seem crazy to many of you out there, but for some reason, right now, my number one is "Don't Let Me Down." It's that bluesy influence type song, but it's a simple song, but it's a magnificent track in my opinion. Love song from John to Yoko, but if you interpret the lyrics, you could apply it to your own love in your life. Very simple, I admit it. It's very fresh. It's very just warm and tender. I love the video for it up on the rooftop, and now it's been all cleaned up and digitized. It's going to look beautiful, especially when the film comes out. That rooftop is just amazing. The footage of that. Don't Let Me Down. And Billy doing the solo on the organ is fabulous. I just love it. Right now, for me, folks, it has a lot of meaning. It's a fabulous love song. Don't Let Me Down is my number one. And I'm going to end it because I want to go with Joe's finale here for his number one.
Yeah, Robert, that's from your lips to God's ears. And also, I would say that Matt really set it up big. I got to live up to it. So I hope so. No, here's the thing. My number one is Revolution right now. A lot of what I said before. The Beatles doing hard rock, heavy guitars, chunky guitars, screaming, showing again, they closer to a Kiss. I mean, closer you can get to Zeppelin or Kiss. The fuzzy guitars, distorted guitars. Again, maybe younger fans, they go, these guys can rock. They're not just singing about, I don't know, honey pie or something like that.
Mhm.
So it's cool, very cool. You know, um, John screaming is hard out in it, at times, and you got him saying that it was the fast version, which this is better in mono, and I kind of agree with it. I could listen to the stereo and it's fine, but I do prefer the mono. I think it's a much tighter record.
Right.
He called it a piece of ice cream. He said he turned it into a piece of ice cream on the Blue album and stuff. With the stereo version. He said that was a heavy record. They made it a piece of ice cream. I also will say I like that they took out the shooby doo wahs in there. I don't like Revolution One, the slower version from the White Album. When I was younger, I didn't realize. I thought originally that the fast version of Revolution was recorded somehow first, and then
Mhm.
then the White Album version, and they added the shooby doo wops in. I'm saying, what a
Right. Right.
terrible. It's the other way around. I'm glad they took them out. Although in the promotional film, which I love, the video of them performing it and lip syncing some of it. It sounds like the lip syncing or backing track and something too.
Or singing over a backing
Singing
track.
over
Yeah. Yeah.
a backing
Yeah.
track,
Yeah.
right? I have to say that they put the shooby doo wops in there, and I don't like it. It doesn't ruin it. It doesn't ruin it, but doesn't they never fit to me. This is not an old '50s type of doo wop
Mhm.
kind of song. I don't get that. I will say also that there was an artist, Pee Wee Creighton, who I think John, if you listen to it, borrowed the guitar. John, nicked a lot of things, and he owned up to it. He talked about, speaking of Day Tripper, how he got like that kind of lick in there from other songs, or kind of made some adjustments and used it. Songs like Bobby Parker, I think it was Watch Your Step,
Mhm.
which he used for I Feel Fine, maybe, and also Day Tripper and stuff like that. It breaks my heart, I always say, whenever this is so great, John. Oh, you're a genius. And then I find out that he got it from somewhere else.
Right.
Some people say, well, that's just what it is. It's not. A lot of people get stuff from other people. The thing is, what can you do with it, and how do you make it your own? Is also what you join it with and stuff. So that's the way of looking at it. you know. But one thing about the opening scream, Matt brought it up. I mean, I don't know for sure. I mean, there was a big thing for a long time with the ahs in the beginning after the dream part of A Day in the Life, where I always thought it was John, and then there was this big debate on some forum that went on for like weeks and weeks and weeks, where they were proving that it was Paul, and then somebody had the isolated vocal of the just by itself
Right.
after the dream, and it turned out it did sound like Paul. So I changed my mind. It wasn't John, and so forth. But when I hear the scream of revolution, I hear John screaming. I could be wrong. It could be Paul,
Yeah.
and I'll eat the crow. So I'm not calling Matt wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought it was
You
Paul,
know,
but
to me, it sounds like the same kind of scream you'd hear in Bad Boy or Slow Down or Dizzy Miss
right.
Lizzie or something like that. Dizzy Miss Lizzie is a good example. But anyway, that starts the song off, and it's so great with that in there. But the part I really wanted to say that really made this song stand out to me, I think is what Matt might be referring to,
Right.
is that I relate to this song these days more than I ever used to. Sure, it was always a good rocker. It used to sound like a throwback. Oh, it's so 60s, talking about riots and talking about, let's get a revolution going and this and that. But in recent times, man, we got a lot of stuff going on. I'm not just talking about recently. I'm not just talking about in the last, say, 6, 7 months. I'm talking about a year ago too. I mean, there was all kinds of things going on in the streets. There's some buildings being burned down, people getting bottles and Molotov cocktails thrown at them, store windows being broken, people getting assaulted, cops getting pelted and killed, and
Yeah, killed
uh,
even. Yeah.
just all kinds of stuff. And whether you like marching on property and stuff like this and just causing a ruckus, it reminded me the closest thing to revolution. So this song these days comes up to me uh, in my consciousness a little more, and I think of the lyrics as not just a '60s throwback, but
Right.
something that it sounds all too real again, and
Right. We can relate to it today. Yeah.
yeah, too
Yeah.
poignant in a way like that. It's got political relevance right now. I don't like talking about politics so much, but yeah, something something in the air. And
Right.
John says in this version anyway. But when you talk about destruction, don't you know you can count me out. Now of course he said he didn't know which way he wanted to go, so he used to play
You're
it safe
right.
and say count me out in. you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on this version, it's count me out. If you want to change the Constitution, well, we'd all love to change your head.
Right.
You're
Right.
trying to change everything. You got a solution. What's the plan? If you got a solution, everybody thinks they got the answers. All these kind of things. I'm getting goosebumps here because I'm like, I just never thought. I mean, I loved it as a rocker, and yeah,
hmm
the lyrics are good, but they're from the '60s. That's not today so much. Maybe even you could say it was the Watts riots, the early '70s, all kinds of things. But
Mm.
now this is all too real for me again, and that's why more. It probably would have been number one anyway, but right now it really speaks to me. So
Well, and what you said on Sunday is what gave me the impetus to jack it up from 3 to 2. So
yeah, yeah. So I hope I recreated it
yeah, you
pretty
did.
good.
No, you did a great job. Thanks.
I think
That
so.
that's what I was hoping for, and you nailed it.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Yeah. I love Revolution, and
Yeah.
again, street credit, kids. Like
Yeah.
I say, Beatles rock. And they don't just sing silly love songs or something
Absolutely.
all the time. So, all right, all
All
right,
right. All right.
all right. So anyway, that's the end of this show. But we're going to talk
Yeah.
about some things upcoming now. The next show that we're thinking of doing here, as it looks now on FaB GaB, is going to be was scheduled anyway for July 25th.
Right. On
Sunday,
Sunday.
July 25.
Yeah.
Uh, we're looking right now. The time may change, but right now we're looking at a time of I think 3 o'clock ish, it's around there.
Around
Three
there. Yeah.
fifteen,
3:15. Yeah.
3:15 Eastern time. So it's early enough for a lot of people in the UK and so forth. We're going to be not doing a ranking show. A lot of people are asking, "Are you going to rank the solo albums?" Yeah, we are going to rank the solo albums, right, Matt? Uh,
Yes. Absolutely.
and not we're going to do it. We decided we're going to do them in all kinds of different orders. We're not
Yeah.
going to
Make it
just
more interesting, more random. Yeah.
yeah, we're not going to follow
Yeah.
the strict script with those.
Right.
And this time, though, we're going to skip that. We're not going to do all ranking shows all the time. We're going to do stuff with other topics. And this time, it's going to be a favorite topic of mine: the U.S. Beatles albums on
Yeah.
Capitol,
That's going to be fun. Yeah.
and Hard Day's Night on United Artists, and stuff like that. Talk about the United States albums, and we're going to pretty much be defending them, pointing out why we feel a certain way about them. we'll try to do the bad side of them too, and not
Right, right.
we're not going to put down the UK albums, or
No,
anything like that.
absolutely not.
You
Absolutely, I love
know,
the UK albums. Yeah.
but we're going to have a special guest coming, and some people know who it is already, or they're guessing they know who it is. It's somebody
Mm.
I've never had on my show before. I'm very excited to have this person on the show. It's not Paul. It's not Ringo. So it's nobody.
It's Yoko. No.
It's not Yoko. It's not Sean. It's not Julian. But it's somebody else that is going to speak about these albums, and it's going to be fun. I hope, and that'll be the July 25th. And I also have, for me, I just did a show on my Talk More Talk video cast, the Solo Beatles. We talked about the Paul McCartney album Pipes of Peace, and we
Mm.
basically just tried to decide whether we thought it held up, because sometimes there are albums that have kind of lesser reputations. Sometimes that's one of them. So it's in our series that we call another listen to, this case, Pipes of Peace. You can find this video on YouTube. You can go over to the Talk More Talk YouTube channel, and please subscribe, and leave your comments there. Watch the video. And we're there usually every other Monday, every 2 Mondays, or something like that, give or take, if we can make it. And we do it live. We do it live on Facebook, actually, at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And after, you don't have to worry if you miss it, because if you miss it live on Facebook at 9 p.m. on Monday, eventually becomes a video here on the YouTube channel. So you can see it out, Talk More Talk. All right. So there's that. Then that's me done, I believe. And Matt, what's going on with you now?
Just real quick, you can go to my channel or the Stephen Schnee channel, because we posted the video at both channels where he did an interview with Gem Records president Marty Scott and a couple of the artists on the Gem Records label. This Friday, the day after tomorrow, Gem Records celebrates Brian Wilson compilation is coming out, and we did an interview with some of the folks from Gem Records, the artist, and Marty Scott, as I said. And so come check out that interview. It's real fun. Thanks.
Okay, thanks everybody for being here. I'm glad we
Thanks,
managed
everyone.
to get. Thank you, Matt, for doing it again.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Glad I could help.
And I'm gonna try, after we get off it. I'm not gonna delete it. We're gonna.
No, we gotta cover it in gold and save it.
All right, everybody.
All
So
right.
thanks a lot. See you next time.
Thanks,
Okay,
everybody. Bye-bye.
Take care.